Almost forgot to do that. Okay, we are live. What I would like to do is share a few slides with you as I go through some of this content. If you don't see the slides, let me know, because I'm known to do that, not to have them show up. Right, Joellen? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So Poised for Sales Success, filling the holes in your sales funnel is our topic today. What we'll cover today is very briefly what is a sales funnel for those of you who weren't on the call last week, as well as a reminder for those of you who were present. And we'll also talk about identifying your marketing profit leaks. And if you do find you are in a noisy area or you need to speak to people, please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, just as a review, what is a sales funnel? A sales funnel looks and functions just like you would expect. It's wide at the top, narrowing to a small opening at the bottom. The sales funnel visually describes the sales process from initial contact to the final sale that we have with people who are entering the sales funnel, and then those people who eventually become customers. At the top of the sales funnel, the widest part, this is where your lead attractors live, and these are those things that generate awareness of and interest in you and your products and services. So this is all those attention-getting activities plus many, many more that I have noted there. And what you do is you want to get people into your funnel and you want to nurture them, you want to develop a relationship with them, connect with them emotionally as well as logically, so that eventually they begin to invest in your products and services. Many times it starts with a very low value, low risk offer. And then eventually people will invest higher amounts as their relationship and their trust builds with you. Some people will hop in right at the highest price point. I know I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and this is actually quite common with most of my private clients is I would say at least 50, if not 80% of the people who I should really do the actual percentage is probably closer to the 80% of the people I work with do come in at the very top of my funnel, and it's probably because they or at the very bottom where they're investing in higher priced products, and it's because they know me and I've developed a relationship with them over time. So just as a review, this is the sales funnel template. And this is the tool that I gave you a week or so ago to help you create your own sales funnel. This is posted in the Facebook forum. And again, just briefly for review, there are 3 types of people who are in your funnel: leads, which may be people that you have not spoken to, you don't have any relationship with. They may have come into your world through your opt-in on your website, or perhaps they were people that referred to you that you do not know. Those are leads. They could also be people who you are prospecting for. You're looking at a professional directory and you are targeting potential clients or customers that you would like to work with. And then you reach out to them and begin to try to develop a relationship with them. Prospects are people who have expressed interest in working with you. Prospects are both qualified and unqualified, and that is explained more deeply in the webinar, the previous webinar about filling your sales pipeline. And we all know what customers are. The 2 goals that we have are finding more good leads that can turn into a higher percentage of qualified prospects, and then increase the percentage of people who move to one level to the next down the pipeline. Now, leakage is where people may become leads, but they never actually become prospects. So there are ways that we can measure how many leads are coming in our front door and how many of those people actually turn into prospects. And then we can also measure how many of those prospects actually become customers. We're not talking about that today, about how to measure that. That is something that I do work with my private clients. I just had a retreat last week with a client on Thursday, and this is something that we were working on. So at some point, you will want to measure the number of leads, the percent of those leads that become prospects, and the percent of those prospects that become customers. Are there any questions before I move on to the content? Let me stop sharing. I like to see everybody. Anybody have any comments about that, about the presentation that we did a week or so ago on Sales Funnel, and maybe what you're doing differently in your business as a result of that training? Phyllis and Joellen and Jocelyn.
Hi.
Hey, Phyllis.
How are you? Monday again.
Yes, I know.
I really enjoyed how you presented the sales funnel. Like you, very seasoned marketing type person, but yours was the first workshop, because I'm going to call it a workshop, that there's a lot of teaching going on versus just showing and telling how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say for anybody who hasn't looked through it, go into Facebook, pull up the link, and go through that, because it was, even for me, it's just so valuable and really reinforced what I'm doing right and reminded me about some things that I totally forgot, as how easy that is to do when you get in your own little rut there.
Yeah, it's so true. Thank you, Phyllis. I appreciate that feedback. And yeah, the sales funnel is so critical to our business success also, isn't it? And I think it's a really great visual tool for looking at how clients will flow through our business, and the sales funnel is that typical way of looking at it. But I also you can also look at it as a ladder. People step on the bottom rung and they're opting in for that free offer and trying us out, and then they take that next step up the ladder and maybe invest in a very low value product like an ebook, or it could be a workshop, all the way to the very top of the ladder. So I think it's a great visual tool. Thank you. Jocelyn or Joellen, do you have any feedback about that, about the sales funnel? I know, Jocelyn, you worked on your sales funnel template. Great job. And what I also liked about what you added was the repeat. You had commit repeat at the end of your funnel, and I thought that was brilliant. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, what I will do is I will go, if there are no other questions, I will go back to sharing the presentation. Okay, there we go. So this is a leaking sales funnel. Looks very similar to the sales funnel that we had up before, where we have a lot of prospects coming in the top, but then we see that at the very bottom there will be customers coming out there, and I accidentally blocked that word off, but that bottom blue arrow, there's supposed to be customers there, but there's leaks throughout the funnel. And as I noted, every business sales funnel has leaks. Not every lead who is attracted to your business will become a customer. The benchmark number, just for review, that you need to know, and this is a general number, is you need 3 to 4 times more leads coming into your sales funnel than you do customers. So if you want to serve 10 clients in a year, you need 30 to 40 leads. And again, this is just a benchmark number. Every business is different. Some businesses will need less depending on the effectiveness of their marketing and the type of leads that they're attracting and their conversion rates and everything that goes into turning a lead into a customer. And some may need more leads. And I'm thinking an internet business, somebody who just markets digital products online, or they're just looking for large numbers, and a very small percentage of their leads actually turn into buying customers. Measuring how many leads become prospects and then how many prospects become customers is something that you can quite easily do. We talked about that a couple minutes ago. The key here is you want to attract leads and develop a relationship with them. so that they become prospects and then turn into customers. To do this, you need to pay special attention to how the relationship starts and then create an emotional connection. In this webinar today, we will talk about the different types of leaks in the sales process and ways to plug some of those leaks. There's 13 different leaks, and we can't address all 13 today, so we will address the top 6. These are your marketing profit leaks. There are 13 different ones that I have noted. We will talk about leaks 1 through 6 today. Leaks 7 through 13 link to your marketing, lead generation, and message communication activities. For the people who are already in the virtual business salon, we've already addressed these issues to some degree when we talked about the marketing messages and how to craft what type and how to craft your marketing messages for the different stages in the sales funnel. So I'd rather focus today on topics that we haven't discussed in depth yet in the virtual business salon. For leaks 1 through 6, we will go over what each leak is about and how you can fix it. And then you will take an assessment to identify your own leaks, and the assessment will have all 13 leaks, and then choose one to fix as your mission assignment. So just looking at these marketing profit leaks, does anyone want to give some feedback about which of these leaks might be leaks for them or which ones they have handled, just to get an idea about where you are as in regards to these leaks? Which ones jump out at you? Anybody can jump in. Joellen, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sorry, I had to turn my microphone back.
That's okay. We're patient here.
Yeah, I think the one about forgotten customers,
yeah,
sort of jumps out at me.
And why does it jump out at you?
Well, when there are some people that I've worked with over the years and I haven't heard from them in a while, it doesn't mean that they don't need me. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm
true.
thinking that they don't need me, but I really don't know because I don't have enough information.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it could be that you haven't kept up the relationship or the communication with them as well as perhaps you would like.
Yes. I noticed that one of my past customers likes a lot of my Facebook posts. So I know that we're not totally out of communication, and I know that she did get a full-time job, and I think she's in a holding pattern right now, but I think just to practice connecting with past customers, I could just send her a quick text and say, hey, Julie, how are you? How is your summer? How are things going? Miss you, or something like that. I don't mean I miss you, but something like that.
Ask her how things are going.
Yes. Yeah, like how are things? And I've also worked with her husband as well. So I'd say, how are things going for you and Dave? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that one jumped out at you. Number 1, forgotten customers.
Yes.
Sue, and thank you, Joellen.
Sure.
Sue, I would like to call out on you. Which one of these jumps out for you?
I'm just trying to read them. They're really, really tiny.
Are they? Okay. Leak number 1 is forgotten customers. 2 is poor onboarding. So that's basically about, do you have a structured approach when you get new customers as they settle into their relationship with you? Number 3 is no emotional connection. Does your visual and written style have a personal touch that's friendly and creates that emotional connection? Leak number 4 is no gateway, and that's about, does your business offer a coherent set of products that lead helpfully from one to the next? Number 5 is no critical approval. Is there a clear way of educating or helping your buyer educate? anyone who could veto the purchase decision, and number 6 is no proof. Are you systematic about signposting some sort of proof against every promise or claim that you make? And I'll just read those first 6 just because those are the ones that we're focusing on today. Do any of those jump out at you?
Probably number 6, because I've talked before about how I haven't had that many clients. But however, the one that I had last autumn, she said I could use any of her comments on the post-session recap. So I'm going to put those on. And I might actually ask this woman just from this weekend if I can get a testimonial from her.
Okay.
The other thing that I was wondering about with the proof is it worthwhile giving information about sort of scientific studies about how creativity is good for your brain, or do you know what I mean? Things like that.
Yes, yes, you can absolutely talk about research that has been conducted.
Okay.
So it can be personal experiences, it can be client feedback that you use as proof. It could also be primary or secondary research. Primary being research that you have conducted, and secondary being other research. So yes, you absolutely can use that. So awesome. Okay. Jocelyn or Phyllis, do you have any comments about this before we move on?
This is Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
I think where I do most of these pretty well. Where I get stuck is I have a kind of a large menu of services, but they're pretty diverse. And so I took a cue from your playbook. I'm updating my virtual partner site to just be about online business management and project management. I have a URL for doing the websites, which are geared at entry-level people who just need really inexpensive, good-looking sites. So I have that URL to launch in August, and then I'm putting back my phyllisbenson.com, and that's where I'm going back to having that purely as a business strategist, which focuses on the technology piece. So I'm, again, I do everything pretty well, but I think having it all under the umbrella of virtual partner is very confusing when somebody lands on my website.
Yes, because when they see, typically when people see more than 3 choices, they start to get confused.
Exactly. So, I'm like the cobbler's child. I can make everybody's shoes pretty, but mine have none.
And just mentioning the client that I worked with last week on our retreat, she's somewhat in the same situation. She has so many different services that she offers that and they were all one-offs, or where somebody would maybe say perhaps get their LinkedIn profile updated, but then there was nowhere else for them to go. So we worked really hard on refining her revenue model and what offers she was going to actively promote to get customers into her sales pipeline, because we all do so many different things, me included, and we really have to make it simple for our customers to decide how they want to work with us. So really thinking about that sales funnel is key, about that flow, that either, if you like the funnel concept or the ladder concept, what are those steps what are they going to take, those steps to work with us? So, all right, thanks, Phyllis, for sharing that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, what we're going to do now is get into the specific leaks. This is leak number 1, forgotten customers. Ongoing service is part of what your customers pay for, don't they? We often think of customer service, and that's really what this is about, serving our customers. We often think of customer service that it's being triggered by a complaint. But this also applies to ongoing service requests and requirements. And also, how well do we anticipate our clients' needs? So what it is ongoing service and anticipating those needs of our customers, and yes, perhaps even looping back to those previous customers that we had. And what I've also given you are some examples about how to plug that leak. You could add a frequently asked questions section or page to your website, and this is something that I will be working on myself to get this up on my website. You could do client satisfaction tracking. This is very important, and this is something that you want to be tracking on an ongoing basis with your clients, and not even at the very end of their program or package that they purchase with you, but throughout, whether it be a one-day retreat that you're leading, frequently be asking them, is this content working for you? Is this helping you? What do you like about this content? And this helps you identify if things are not going well. And if they are going well, it also helps to reinforce with your customers that you're helping them and they're getting a good experience from that. So check-ins during service delivery is very, very important, both during as well as at the end of service delivery. When you do have a client who has completed a program and they have finished and they have no intentions of re-upping with your service, whatever the reason, they graduated or they originally just wanted a short-term program, they were looking for tweaking something in their business, or maybe that's just how some of the products are that you sell. We hope not, but eventually every client does leave. Have exit interviews and find out what they really valued about your service as well as what could be improved or done differently. You also want to track falling usage. A good example is in the virtual business salon. As it grows and we have more and more people in the salon, that I'm aware of people who aren't showing up, who aren't commenting, who aren't liking, who aren't participating in the coaching calls or the educational calls, and reaching out to them personally and finding out what's going on with them and trying to get them back on track. And then track use of all the services that they got. So for example, if they do have a package and there's a number of features in your package, making sure that people do take advantage of those. So it could be that some of the features would be they self-schedule their coaching calls, maybe 6 coaching calls as part of their package, and they have not scheduled those calls. You want to reach out to that customer and make sure that they take advantage of that benefit that they have. So that's a quick example. So that is the forgotten customers. I'm just going to hop off here just so I can see everybody. I like to do that. Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I think I just closed my document.
Oh.
I'm a little, dorky with this Google Hangout stuff yet. I think I'm getting better. But there's still some quirkiness with me. Any comments about the leak number 1? Joellen, you had said that was your particular leak. Did you get any ideas from that?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, excuse me, last week I actually did a paid consultation with a new client, and I did ask him halfway through, how is this working for you? How is this call going? And I'm really glad that I asked him because he gave me some really good feedback, which helped me keep the call going so that he would get what he needed. And it worked out beautifully.
Mm-hmm. That's really important that they get what they're coming to for the help that they're seeking, for the problems that they want to have a solution for through their work with us. So yeah, really important to get that feedback. Is it working for you? Isn't it working for you? So that we know how to shift our service delivery so that they get what they want. Okay. All right.
This is Jocelyn. Is this coming?
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi. I'm experimenting with walking and listening to this at the same time, so I wasn't sure how my phone would behave. I was going to say this is kind of embarrassing, but one thing that holds me back is fear of getting an answer I don't want to hear. Following up with a client after 6 months and saying, how are you loving your site? And them going, oh, well, by the way, it sucks.
Oh.
And some of it has to do with as a business owner, we all keep growing new knowledge. So we look back at what we did a year ago and we're like, oh my God, I could do so much better today. Granted, I raised my prices, so you need to remember that too. But that's one thing that's getting in my way as far as asking. Fear of the answer, even though it's probably going to surprise me in a way I don't expect. Probably a good way, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where the frequent check-in, both during service delivery, if you have that and you've gotten positive feedback like 2, 4, 6 weeks, a couple months after, you'll probably get it 6 months or a year down the road when that customer might be ready for some updates to their website. So the frequent check-in would help alleviate, I would think, a little bit of that anxiety. Thanks, Jocelyn. All right, we'll get our presentation back up here and go into leak number 2. Oh, it went right to the back. Okay, it's because I had to open it up again. Okay, let's go to leak number 2, which is poor onboarding. After you get a new client, the first few weeks is a very critical period. You don't want your customers canceling their orders because they are not experiencing what they expected. Your buyer, your customer, has established expectations about how they will be treated according to what was expressed in your sales and marketing materials. If you communicate, for example, highly personalized service, your customer is expecting probably a lot of attention. And I know this really hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to clients of mine who have expressed that they've invested in services. Like, for example, I had one client who invested in getting some press releases and some PR work completed for her, some writing. And she invested the money and then never heard from the person. And then when she was following up, hey, when am I going to get my stuff? There was no responsiveness. So that creates a lot of anxiety, and that's not what she was expecting. So we want to make sure that we fulfill the expectations that our customers have, because we really only get one chance to make a great first impression. To help people make the transition from being a new customer to a loyal customer, we need to treat them with extra care, extra care at the beginning of the relationship. So poor onboarding, what it is, we want to meet expectations that our customers have based on the marketing and sales communications that they heard from us, so that we do create a happy and loyal customer. And I have some examples how to plug the leak. The first one is good value. We want to make sure that the money that our clients invested with us, that they are receiving very good value for the money that they spent. That if we have promised any materials, that they arrive in a timely fashion. So if we say that you will get your welcome packet in the next day or today, that those materials arrive on time. Or if we've promised them certain things, certain resources, whatever it might be. It could be handouts, it could be whatever we're using, that they get those materials in a timely fashion. If we're selling products, that they get their merchandise when they expect it. Quality, dependable, tone and manner. Excuse me. This is how the tone of our voice and the manner in which we communicate with people. Is it what they expect? Is it welcoming? Is it warm? Is it friendly? Is it in alignment with how we communicated with them before they became a customer? And I have some examples of pieces that could be in the welcome packet when you are onboarding your customers. Very, very important. And typically what I include is I do have a welcome packet, and I do outline the services that they will be getting, the dates of the coaching calls, any retreats, any types of training and bonus items that they will receive, as well as, and one thing I don't have listed here, as well as it's like codes of conduct. It's expectations. So for example, I would have my business hours, when I accept phone calls, what they can expect from me. If email coaching is part of their package, for example, what they can expect from me as far as responsiveness, coaching calls, if they miss a coaching call, what happens then, if they need to reschedule a call, how to do that. So it's all these different things that you can onboard your clients in a fashion that makes them feel very special and very welcome, yet at the same time you can set the guidelines for how you will conduct business with each other. And Jocelyn, also as part of the welcome packet here, the very last bullet, I do have personal calls at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. This is really important as we're onboarding people to make sure that they are satisfied with the service and it's heading in the direction that they want, that it's fulfilling their needs. So this is leak number 2, poor onboarding. Any questions about leak number 2 before I move on to leak number 3? Okay. Leak number 3 is no emotional connection. All the previous things add up to what your company is about and how it feels to be a customer of yours. It's really what builds your company's reputation. Emotionally, people respond to words and images. So you want to make sure that your company's visual identity relates to your brand and it reflects the look, the feel, and emotions that you want your customers to experience. So what it is, it's emotional. How do you want them to feel? And the visual piece of that are the fonts and the imagery, the graphics, the colors, and you want to have consistency and style in everything that you do. So it's really a good idea to have a style sheet of what fonts you will use, when you will use capitals, like say for example in a heading if you use all capitals and consistently do that. So it would be the headings, the subheads, how you will list things, will you use bullet points, will you use check marks, all those things to have your materials have that consistent look and feel. And it's probably a really good idea to have someone help you professionally design some templates for you that you can use. The tone of voice guidelines, how your business sounds, what words will you use, what's your personality. And I know we have a post of this in the virtual business salon, and it's all about your brand personality. Are you warm and approachable, down to earth, or are you fiery and fierce? And then you will use words that help communicate that personality, and the photography and the imagery to use. If you love nature, maybe you use a lot of images with nature in them. I have one client she's a triathlete, so her memes she's planning on posting will have they'll have physical fitness people on them, maybe rock climbing or swimming or riding a bicycle, whatever it might be, with some of her own personal quotes, which will help project her personality into her marketing messages, and it also creates that emotional connection. Any questions about leak number 3? Questions or comments about this? I think this is a real important one. What do you think? Anybody want to comment on that? Do we need an emotional connection with our customers?
This is Phyllis.
Hey, Phyllis.
Hey, I totally agree with every touch came upon, and the style sheet, amazingly, is something that people forget to do, especially if you're a solopreneur and you have it all in your head, and then you bring on a VA or a project manager, they're having to search to see how you like things. And so something that both Jocelyn and I do is within your website, we actually create a private page called Styles, and we list everything there with all the codes and stuff. So that's just a simple way, to share with your growing team, and then, as a good reminder for you as well. You can just snag the code over and throw it in, and then the templates. Some people forget that you can actually create your landing page or sales page or blog templates as well. So that's perfect. It's totally something people forget.
Well, I think it's a great tool to have, and for a long time I didn't have it either. And it would always seem like a struggle when I was putting together my materials. What fonts am I using to express my brand? And how will I format my documents? And it just saves so much time having a style sheet. And it gives it that consistent look and feel. And it just looks so much more professional as well.
Oh, exactly, because going back to your other point, your voice is when you start getting creative with all different fonts and colors, it could confuse your ideal client. You're just totally creating a large leak there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree. Anybody else have any comments about that? Thoughts they want to share? Seems like everybody's just taking it in, and that's great. All right. Let's go to the next leak. So leak number 3, no emotional connection. Leak number 4 is no gateway, which means not having a way for people to try out what you have to offer before making a commitment or before making a more significant investment. Many businesses do not have a decent product ladder or flow of offers, as it's sometimes called. We talked about this 2 weeks ago in Filling the Sales Funnel webinar. You need products at 4 different price levels in your business: free, low-priced, mid-tier, and your higher-priced or premium-priced services, which should always be your one-on-one services. Initial free and lower value, lower price products are really a lower risk purchase for your customers. You want to make that first purchase an easy yes. So it would be low price, high value. That's how I always think about it. They're getting a lot for the little bit of money that they are investing. You want to make the first purchase as risk-free as possible because this allows the buyer to assess your business before investing a vast amount of money. I want to point out that product-based businesses often struggle with the concept of a gateway offer because it's often perceived people either buy the product or they don't. Free samples work well, but if that is prohibitive, I mean, we've all seen Mrs. Fields cookies where they're giving away the samples of cookies. So free samples work well. But if that is prohibitive, depending on the type of product, and I'm mentioning this for Linda, who is part of the Virtual Business Salon, she sells jewelry. So she's not going to be giving away jewelry, and it's fine jewelry. It's not cheapy jewelry. So at this point, it's time to think creatively because there's often an interesting way that you can engage people with your offer without it being an expensive outlay or cost anything at all. Examples for a product-based business could be a free online wish list, which can also be a way for securing email marketing permission so that people can go to the website and they can put items onto a wish list, and if we get them on our email list, then we can follow up. So that would work very well for Linda. So how to plug this leak: have your free opt-in offer on your website and mention it often if you're out networking, wherever you are and meeting people. After you meet them, ask them to opt in to your newsletter or whatever it is to get the free resources that you have to offer. Another way to plug the leak is a trial period, just like we have in the Virtual Business Salon. It's a 21-day trial period. And my goal has been to offer very high value at a very low cost, and also for people to give them the opportunity to try the salon out. It could be free webinars, tutorials, the video tours, product demonstrations. I did a demonstration back in, I believe it was January, a Show Me How business planning demonstration. Again, that was to demonstrate expertise. I think it was a $10 offer that I offered to people on my list. They could sign up to participate for $10, and I got awesome feedback about that. And Sue, I believe you were on that demonstration. And Dina was as well, Dina Eisenberg.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It was pretty high value for $10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now here you are in the salon.
Yes, you did well.
So that's demonstrating these gateway offers in action. And sometimes, you know, we can't see beyond there. We're like, wow, we really gave away a lot of information for very, very little money. But we have to think about the relationship that we're building, and we're demonstrating our expertise. And it's showing rather than telling. Showing rather than telling what we do. And in-person seminars or workshops. So these are just some examples about how to plug this leak with low value, meaning low monetary value that people have to invest, but very high value that they receive in return for that. Any questions or comments about leak number 4, no gateway? Any feedback?
This is Joellen. I've got a quick question.
Okay.
What is the difference between showing rather than telling? I mean, from your interpretation.
Yeah, showing, my interpretation, and anyone else can chime in on this, Phyllis and Jocelyn. Showing is, I can, let me go to telling. I can tell you what should be in a business plan and the benefits of writing a business plan and the different pieces of a business plan, but I can show it to you and demonstrate the process so that you can clearly see how it all works together. So I think of showing as actual demonstration, a visual tool. Phyllis and Jocelyn, do you want to chime in on this?
This is Phyllis.
Hey, Phyllis.
Oh, absolutely, and that's something I think a lot of people miss the mark on is, you know, constantly doing the talking heads. There's value in it, especially if you're doing, you know, a pre-launch type thing. But the showing, I get so much feedback from all my clients that they refer me to other people because, you know, I can craft, you know, kind of a show and tell to where we're working together. We'll use Skype or Join Me to do screen share. So I'm actually walking them through certain things if it's a one-on-one. If it's where I'm selling a service or kind of a taste of what I do, I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll have a couple people in the hot seat to where I've looked at their website or their sales page, whatever it is, and show them how I actually created, you know, some buttons or created certain ways to capture testimonials. And, you know, I like to give, you know, 2 to 3 things that people can take away and do themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds kind of scattered, but you know, there's lots of ways to do it. And I think number 1 is for you as the provider of the information is to be comfortable doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As well. But yeah, I love show and tell.
Yeah, that, I think you gave some great examples, Phyllis, about that. And using Skype where you can demonstrate different things to your potential customers. They can really see what that outcome will be. And Jocelyn, I know you just put some before and after examples of websites that you created or that you revised. And I know that was really helpful to Catherine.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool once I did it and how powerful it was. I was going to say I don't do these free things Phyllis is mentioning, but I realize I should because it's one thing to say I can do it. When you start showing them, it may not be their work, but they can start to, it probably starts clicking in their head. She can do the same stuff for me. Like, as opposed to saying I can do your site, you're demonstrating skill in front of them. That's pretty powerful.
I think so too, and I thought that was a great example. So thank you, Jocelyn and Phyllis, for sharing your ideas. Joellen, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so think about your business and how you might show something rather than just tell what you're going to do. Yeah, I like this show and tell. I used to love those days in grade school. Take something in and talk about it. That was always so much fun. All right, let's move on to leak number 5, no critical approval. Understanding who your buyer turns to before deciding to buy and ensuring those people are on your side is what this leak is all about. So you want to think about who influences your buyer's decision to buy and who can say no to that decision. It could be a spouse or a significant other. If you're selling to corporations, it could be other departments who have to sign off on the purchase order, and not knowing a lot about what they're signing off on, they could very easily say no. So what you want to do is you want to have ways to get those people who could say no on board with a buying decision. How you plug that leak is you can either communicate with a third party directly, whether it be through a telephone call or a meeting that's set up between you, the buyer, and the third party. It could also be preparing materials for them to equip the buyer with. It could be printed materials, brochures, pamphlets. Maybe it could be writing blog posts that address common objections that these third parties may have at this level. It could be webinars that they could view or product demonstrations about whatever it is that you're selling, that they can learn more about it, because they typically say no because they don't know enough about it. And we can't always depend on the buying party to properly communicate and sell the idea to this third party. So it's really good to equip this person with some materials that they can direct who can say no and who influences their decision to buy, so that they can learn more about our product and service. So this is critical. And you know, quite typically, if I've been in an enrollment conversation with a potential client and they have to pass it by their spouse, quite often I will offer to get on the phone with them and their spouse at the same time to help answer any questions. So that's just one way that I have dealt with it directly. Anybody want to chime in on this, leak number 5, and how they handle it, or you know, what they think about this one?
This is Phyllis.
Hey, Phyllis.
Yeah, I love this topic so much. I through the years was so bad about this, you know, because you get drawn into the, well, I have to talk to my husband or my wife or
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and then you just like start discounting everything you do to where it's not worth it. So that's one lesson I've learned. What I've done to help with this is everything that you talked about, having a video or a couple of videos or a blog post and stuff ready, and you know, talking to somebody in person. But I create private pages or my own swipe file. So what I do is I have stuff that's it's pretty much evergreen, so there's no dates attached to it, that I can give the potential client some resources, but I also have these, you know, quasi-objection FAQ things ready to give them. And I also keep in a swipe file a couple different how I can work with you pricing tables. So when I'm talking to them and somebody starts talking about, you know, how could we do this or that, or, you know, customize it a little more, I'm not going to have to take time to create that stuff. I can just open my Gmail and grab it. But that helps move the conversation along as well.
Yeah, it's giving them options, isn't it? About how they can work with you and giving them the tools. And you mentioned that you have some blog posts and materials or fact sheets to share, and I know I have a couple articles. The most common objection I get is the husband. You know, I have to run this by my husband, and occasionally it's even my husband doesn't support me in my business. So I have some resources that I can give these women how to have that conversation with their husband.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I don't usually get that one. When people come to me, they're already sold on what I do, because it's mainly referrals, and so it's more showing the value I bring quickly to whatever it is they're needing,
Mm-hmm.
like social
Mm-hmm.
media or fixing their website or just running the back end, all the technology pieces.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact is that each of us, this applies to each of us. There's no critical approval,
Yes.
because what it comes down to is objections by another influential person who will, of course, influence the buyer's decision to buy.
Oh,
All right. All right. Thank you, Phyllis.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to leak number 6, which is the final leak that we will be addressing today. Leak number, leak number 6 is no proof. Backing up every promise you make has to have appropriate evidence and factual information. And Sue, this is the one that you mentioned that jumped out at you as your leak. Powerful sources of logical proof are third-party endorsements. What are people saying about you? Facts and figures. What is the evidence? Which could be evidence of your customer successes. It could be evidence of your own personal success using your systems. It could also be primary or secondary research. Primary research being research that you've conducted, and secondary research, other research that other people, other organizations have conducted. Our clients really need to know and believe, well, they have to believe that we can help them solve their problem. How you want to plug this leak is by building trust through these endorsements, these facts, these figures. You can complete some case studies before and after, objective, qualitative, quantitative case studies about how this person's life, business changed as a result of your work. And another thing is encouraging current customers to support you by making it easy for them to pass along information about you to potential referral sources, publicly endorsing you on LinkedIn. And of course, we need to encourage our customers to give us referrals and reward them in some way. So there's a number of ways to do that. If they express that they're happy with the service, that would be a good time to say, hey, if you know anyone who would really benefit from my service, I'd really appreciate if you'd pass my name along. Our buyers who are not our customers yet, our business really has to survive this buyer scrutiny, and these third-party endorsements are absolutely the way to do that. Your prospects need to believe that you can solve their problem. So there's many different ways that you can get proof. Sharing, which is very simple, adding the share buttons on your emails and your website, and blog posts, that it makes it really easy for people to share your work. Okay. Any comments about leak number 6? Any questions? Because this is a biggie, and I know personally I do a decent job with this, but I can do a better job with it. So I have leaks in my funnel too.
It's Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hi. I'm just wondering, you were saying about doing like case studies and saying like a client's, move before and after thing.
Uh-huh.
Can you just do that without their permission if you just anonymously talk about, I had a client who wanted to change her job and blah, blah. Is that what you mean by that?
You could, but I think it's more powerful if you do have an actual person's name, because it could then become suspect that it was made up.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's better to get it from them, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's better to get their permission and publish that case study, because you would want to publish that on your website, and it's just much more credible if a face, a name, a website, an actual business can be attached to it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, really, really important.
This is Phyllis.
Okay. Hi, Phyllis. I'll go back to our proofing bread.
Oh, yeah. Well, just quickly, this is something that I don't do well myself either, but I do for my clients is, making it easy to get those case studies and those testimonials is, number one, obviously, you can email them and give them some examples of what you're asking for. Because a lot of times people don't know what to write and they just say, well, just write it. Number two is to get a photo of them or permission to, use their website URL. And number three is to use a form on your website that you have a link that people can just fill out stuff as they go, so you could have little nudges and pushes, good questions, great questions to ask them, and then tell them that if they would like, you can formulate the testimonial or case study, send it to them for approval, and explain the benefit to them of having that on your website, because then it leads back to who they are and, kind of doing a double proof, I guess.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you put one of those forms up on my website.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, yes. And I do have a template in my email that before that form, in fact, I still use my template on occasion. It's an email, and it has all those things that you've asked for. And you ask questions such as, what was your challenge? What were your problems before our work together? And how are things now? So I follow that PAR formula, problem, action, result.
Oh, yeah.
And
I also add on there, I don't have a true referral program to where I give money back to people, but at the end I'll ask something like, how likely are you to refer me to a friend or another solopreneur? And then I have a link to, if you do the referrals and they sign up, you get, an additional 30 minutes or an hour of my time, added onto your blocks of hours or however we're working together. And people, I haven't had anybody turn me down with that. They're just,
they love that. Well, people love free stuff.
Yeah, and it's, it would be hard for me to monetize, to say, well, you'll get a $50 gift card or $100 bonus or something. And the timepiece, has really worked out, giving that as a bonus for referrals as well.
Yeah, I'm working on a referral process right now, because I actually have a woman who she really could be a commission salesperson for me, helping me get corporate work, mid-sized business corporate work, and that's what she does. She's a salesperson. She's very good at it, and she goes, oh, what's your, referral fee? Because we talked about it before, and I've been tossing around, okay, what is that number? And, basically she's looking for monetary compensation, and I'm okay with that. That's what I had said I would be willing to pay, because I have paid referral fees in the past. I think the thing to keep in mind, if we do pay money, that we really need to add that onto the cost of our services.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it should not decrease our profit margin in our products and services.
Yeah, and if I was doing like a full launch for a workshop, I would definitely have, the monetary, per paid sign up type thing. So it's kind
like
of
affiliate fees. Affiliate fees is another.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of nice to think of having all those other little salespersons out there, isn't it, when they're referring business to us?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Affiliate programs are so misunderstood. I think people make them too complicated.
Yeah, they are. I agree with you. It's all good stuff. These are all great leaks to address in our business. So your mission is to identify your marketing profit leaks. Now, this mission is for current ongoing members of the Virtual Business Salon. So Phyllis and Joellen, you can absolutely complete the mission. The only thing is that you couldn't be put in the drawing to win a prize. So sorry. Unless you sign up, in the Virtual Business Salon. So the first thing is to complete the Identify Your Marketing Profit Leaks assessment, and I will be posting this in the Virtual Business Salon Facebook page in the Files tab, and that is that assessment that you saw with 13 different leaks. What I'd like you to do is choose one marketing leak to plug. So I have another handout that I'll be posting. Plug your marketing and profit leaks, and then create your plan. What is that tactic that you're going to use, and what are your action steps that you're going to take to implement that tactic? I would suggest, because we have outlined tactics, to use one of the 6 leaks that I've identified. If none of those apply, then certainly go to some of the other leaks and make that the leak that you're going to be working on. Post your completed handout no later than Monday, July 27th at noon Central to be entered in a drawing to win a prize. And Linda, when you listen on later, and Sue, don't make it easy on Joellen. Last time she was the only one that posted her assignment, so she won the prize. So
Yeah.
okay. So I'll be keeping my eye on you two.
Okay.
Post your completed assignment in the thread noted on the discussion page. So I will set up a post just for that. And of course, if you get stuck and you'd like help from the group, make sure you let us know before the deadline. And I have before the 23rd, because the deadline is on a Monday. So, all right, let's get back to where we're looking at each other. So what do you think of this presentation? Was this helpful, this webinar about filling your leaks in your funnel?
Yes.
Sue, was this helpful? You're the only one that's not muted, so I'll pick on you.
Okay. Yes, because I think when we've looked at the funnel before, I haven't really understood how to move people from one level to the next, and I think that's kind of what this is addressing, so that they don't sort of get lost along the way. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that I can do from this. Very
Good. Very good. Joellen, how about you?
I lost you for a minute there, so what was the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, what did you think about this educational call today about filling your sales leaks?
Well, I really liked it because it's going to allow me to fine-tune where I'm at with everybody, because I actually have a few leads that are now entering my sales funnel, which is a good thing. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And just to put it through, well, to put it through this process.
Very good.
Put it
Very
through
good.
the funnel, the sieve. I have to think of another way to position it, but I like it.
Yeah, plug up those holes. Plug up those holes. Phyllis, thank you, Joellen.
Sure.
Phyllis or Jocelyn, do you have any feedback?
Well, I thought the call was excellent, and again, you kind of nudged me with a couple little reminders of things that I need to do better. So they are on my list. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you imagine how high functioning and high performing our businesses will be once we take care of these leaks in our funnel?
Oh, I know. It's like
moving people through from leads to prospect to customer.
Yeah, I already see, what, it's like, duh, type of thing.
And I think it's important, if you do the assessment, it's very, very possible, not you, Phyllis, but everyone present here, it's very possible that there will be a number of leaks that are found in the sales funnel. So I would encourage people to focus on the 6 that we covered today and addressing those, because those all do with customer service and sales and enrolling clients. The other leaks at the bottom of the page more have to do with our messaging and our communications, which of course absolutely is important, but I think those are a little bit harder to plug than the top leaks. So definitely try to choose one of the 6, but do one. Get one plugged really, really well, and then make a point to schedule plugging the other leaks as we go. We don't have to do them all at the same time. So I'm all about keeping it simple and, you know, not putting anyone in a place of overwhelm and getting these leaks plugged.
Well, that's great advice. That it
Mm-hmm.
really is, because it's like I know I tend to start avoiding stuff if I'm in overwhelm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so often we see things that need to be fixed in our business or up-leveled, and we think we have to get it all done at one time. But think about just plugging one leak and what a difference that may make in your business. It can make a tremendous difference, and we just have to, you know, keep working at it. Can't do it all at one time. I think I learned that the hard way. All right. Well, this is the end of our call. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending our session, Poised for Sales Success, Filling the Holes in Your Sales Funnel. Really appreciate you showing up and taking the time here, and really want to encourage you to keep it simple. You know, just start plugging those leaks, but keep it doable and don't get into that place of overwhelm. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.